What I'm going to suggest is that the moment I go, what am I thinking about, or what am I thinking that's causing me to feel like this, I'm on a sticky wicket at that point. Because remember, 100% of your feeling is coming from 100% of your thinking in the moment. Okay, they're thinking and feeling are two sides of the same coin. So 100% of your feeling is coming from 100% of your thinking. But thinking is like an iceberg. Icebergs, I don't know if you know this or not, but because icebergs are made of fresh water, but they're floating in salt water, and fresh water is lighter than salt water, 11% of the iceberg always is above the surface of the water. And that's what it's like with thinking. 89% or more, these are not accurate figures, is below the surface of your gut. You're not consciously aware of it. You can't be. It's what's thought is what's creating an entire reality for you. 100% of your experiential reality is thought generated. So there's no way you could be aware of 100% of it. What happens to be in your, consciously available to you in your mind, the bit that's, whatever that is, who knows what relation that has to the rest of this? That's like someone looking at your bag and saying, I can tell what's in your bag by looking at the handle. Well, no, you can't. That's just the handle. That's the bit. And so as soon as we dive into looking at what we're thinking about, we've jumped into the domain of cognitive. Your thinking is creating your experience of reality. It's creating 100% of your experience. So the only way to know what's in your thinking is your feeling. So if you're about to send on an email and you get an uneasy feeling, or how did you describe it?
Yeah, just an uneasy feeling.
An uneasy feeling. What you absolutely know at that moment is that you have uneasy thinking. That's, you absolutely know. Now, if you think that uneasy feeling is coming from the email, you've slipped into a misunderstanding about how life works. None of that feeling is coming from the email. 100% of that feeling is coming from thinking in the moment. If you believe that feeling is coming from what you're thinking about, you've slipped into the misunderstanding. You're thinking about the email or the person or the whatever. But none of that feeling is coming from what you're thinking about. 100% of it's coming from your thinking in the moment. Not what you're thinking about. 100% of your thinking. So if you've got an uneasy feeling, the moment you see that that's not coming from the email or the contents of the email or the person you're sending it to or what would happen if you sent it, the moment you see that 100% of that feeling is coming from your thinking in the moment, when you insightfully see that, when it occurs to you, oh, hang on, I'm not feeling the email or the recipient, I'm feeling my thinking. That's the process of a move back to greater clarity. Now, as you move back to greater clarity, you'll know what to do. In the short term, it may be worth holding off on sending it until you see it more clearly.